expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and cross its way under your skin. Just got out from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, and he's Jones. Most unique show on the internet where we talk about anything from peanut butter to politics, but no politics. We just never really enjoy that. Yeah. That's never a good situation.
Chunky, or are you a creamy guy?
More creamy.
Yeah, I'm a creamy guy.
Yeah, I don't like the chunk.
Yeah, always.
Gets in my teeth.
Look, here's Uncle Pete, of course. Rest in paradise, my friend. With the URL, you copy that, throw it up in your address bar there, or URL, whatever you call it, and come be part of this show. The most unique show here, 216 Creator Studios. Of course, big shout out to our good friends at Natural Therapy Wellness Center who support the station. We absolutely love John and his team. www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. If you're stressed, they'll help you be blessed. Acupuncture, Thai yoga massage, reflexology, deep tissue, hot stone, you name it. Oh, they do it all over there. Oh my God, it's good.
Do a fantastic job.
Yeah, and our good friends at JH Events and Flowers. Listen, $5 Friday. Stop by either one of their locations in McHenry or Fox Lake. And you know what? You can get a $5 fresh cut bouquet of flowers for this weekend. You need a way to say I love you to your husband. Get him a bouquet of $5, right? You feel, hey, Steve, come on in. You're gonna be sitting right here, brother. Steve Slagle, everybody in studio. What's going on, man? How are you? I'm good. Hey, and this guy with the sexy voice rolling in is Steve. He's
I had the sexy voice.
No, you got the sexy face.
Oh, sexy face.
Yeah.
My voice is nice.
That's it. So yeah, come in, be part of who we are, what we do on this show by copying that URL and coming in. But absolutely some good stuff. And welcome aboard. Well, that was weird.
What happened? Did the speaker break again?
Here. Yeah, we're good. We're already there. Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on. So today, what we have is a failure to communicate and or communication. What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, now listen. Let's give Steve a shout out. You do a podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Tell us what you do, how you do it, and listen, you're gonna fall in love with this voice.
Life is a Breeze video podcast. It's about bartending, anything bar related. New alcohol drops, whiskey drops, beer drops. We try to stay ahead of the curve. We pre-order stuff. We try it out before anybody else. Nobody watches it. It's totally fine. We do it mostly for fun.
Yeah.
So,
how do you drink liquor if you drop it?
Yeah. Hey. Try the veal, everybody.
Yeah, that's the new stuff coming out. Right? Dropping it. That's the new term.
So
we're revealing.
Exactly
we're revealing. We're gonna drop it.
And we'll have a shout out to our good friend Snoop Dogg. He's got the new gin and juice.
Absolutely.
Have you had that?
Gin and juice.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Oh man, yeah. His Indoggo.
Yeah.
The strawberry gin. Fantastic.
Really?
Best. It is a cocktail in and of itself. You put that with lemonade, you're done.
You're done.
Is it THC infused?
It is not.
Then I don't want it.
That's right. No.
That's something that just came out.
Indoggo's been out for a while. He's got a new one I haven't tried yet.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
The communication lesson there is drink, and have fun.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Fall down maybe, but call an Uber.
Cappuccino, how are you, brother? Glad to have you in this morning for this ride. Keep your hands and arms inside at all times. So listen, I was having a conversation. This is what spurred this topic. I was having a conversation with some people and talking about communication. And I said, here's where we've come. It's 2024. Here's where we've come in society is we now see a comment, right, on a social media post, similar to what we see here with Don saying, morning, dropping a beer will make you make a grown man cry.
That's if you drink beer.
Yeah, it's if you drink beer.
He's not wrong.
I'll drop it on purpose.
That's right. Alcohol abuse.
Right.
And we now, and I was explaining, I'm like, we've come to a place in society where back in caveman day, I would live in a cave and I would draw a picture on the wall, and I draw a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a rainstorm, right? Because that's what I saw was going on at that moment, right? And or a saber tooth or something, and the cave opening, and 2 years later, you hit my cave, Steve, and you look at this and you cross it out and go, you're an idiot. There's no Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's sunny outside. So you draw a picture after crossing mine out, right? And then I just happened to be on vacation, so I come back and I go, no, there was a right. So we have gone from a verbal communication back into drawing and sketching things on a cave wall. So you go in to a post, and it comes across your feed, and you see somebody's comment, maybe a couple emojis, right? And you're like, you're fucking idiot. You don't know. And so we start this banter back and forth, and we have no idea that you were in the cave at a different time I was.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Seeing things differently at a different time, different place. Yeah. Well, same place, different time, different situation.
Right.
And
so
that's life.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Right. So the issue is now we don't know how to communicate. So now, because I spend most of my time reading texts, I spend most of my time reading emails, I spend most of my time on social media, I have lost the ability to communicate, because whatever mood I'm in, if you're talking to me, Scott, I automatically go, you're a fucking dick. Because I'm having a bad day right now.
Yeah.
Instead of going, man, Scott's being real nice to me. I'm ignoring the influx in your voice. I'm ignoring your body language. I'm ignoring everything. Because now we're back to cave drawings, is what I feel.
It's very impersonal. It's very impersonal. I mean, you don't know what's really going on. When somebody texts you, you have no idea what the emotion or the idea. You can't, right? You can't read in that. And I get in trouble a lot of times because of that. When we talked about it, I'm like, because you don't know the emotion and the feeling that this person is going through when they say okay or just a simple statement to you, right? And so it can be totally misconstrued. That's why for me, the thing of failure to communicate is failure to be one-on-one, to like talk to each other. Everything is behind a keyboard, right? Everything is not private, but just it's not interpersonal. Right. I want to talk to people. Like my conversation and my enthusiasm and my emotion and everything like that is so much better in person than if I text you, you'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. But if I'm here, you got it.
When somebody texts me and uses a period, I think they're mad at me. Automatically, I think. I think
done.
Short
Wait,
with me.
that was basic skills back in school. You got to put a period at the end of your sentence.
Used to be.
Now a period, you're pissed off.
Right. Like now, it's like, what did I do wrong? I don't know.
So what happens if you put an exclamation? Like you're really screwed up.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I'm about to get an F in a class. Like that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
There's no way to tell really what emotion's coming across in that text unless they add some goofy emojis, but.
My mom my mom was vice president of human resources for ADP. You guys know ADP? They're the payroll company. They cut the checks. She had to take a class as she's 73 now. About 5 years back, she had to take a class on how to utilize emojis in the way that she interacted with her people because it comes off friendlier. Her emails were considered severe. I
get that calling.
And because proper punctuation, she did everything correctly, you capitalize and then you put a period or, you continue.
People just read right into it.
Right.
I know, right?
So this grown woman at the age of, what was she at the time, 68, 69, they sent her to take a class on how to utilize emojis to properly express
so
herself.
you don't offend
with-
the younger kids that have no clue
Yep.
about just human common
Wow.
interaction.
Yep.
Well,
And
Lisa,
I miss that, and that's the reason that when we decided to do this show, it's crazy because you can't get the same information or you can't get the same emotion and passion, let's say, of that conversation or that right.
Yeah.
Through a text.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it happens all the time. You know, like, well, you just said a period. I never even thought about they're mad at me because I put a period. Wait, I got proper punctuation. I'm gonna get screwed because I put that in there. Oh,
Lisa says, good morning, everyone. And Lisa, glad to have you. Are you coming in studio this week or are we sending a link? I just need to know how to set it up for your show, Living Outside the Sunday Morning. And
sounds
all
like
the
me
way
as a married man.
all the way from all the way from Grapevine, Texas. Don Stevenson.
You guys kind of guilted me into coming in instead of just sending text messages this morning. Yeah.
All right. We'll be in studio. Exciting stuff. I'm not going to be here, Lisa, but you can come on in.
That's why she's coming in, Deke.
That's the failure to communicate.
Actually, Cappuccino and our new producer, we've had her on the show once, Kelsey, will be here. I'll be up in Milwaukee coaching basketball. So.
Nice.
Yeah. I won't have a voice by the end of this. So Don, welcome in. What are your thoughts? Now you work with a lot of schools with what you do, and of course a lot of donators is the way that I guess I would put it. How is communication, and are you feeling the same thing?
Well, it's interesting. I kind of grew up in the email age, so I've always been a heavy emailer, but I find that there are some people that actually prefer text for a lot of communication. And some of that's just if it's a younger generation. So I think you have to adjust to your audience in some cases. I'm thinking more now on personal or more business related type communications. Personal can be a little bit different.
This show would have been canceled years ago.
Yeah. But I think that, so I just think you have to adjust a little bit in terms of how you deal with. So I find myself doing more texting to people that I wouldn't have thought I would text things to, simply because that's the way they you learn that they don't respond to emails, but they do respond to text. So, but I'm still obviously a big fan of the phone call or the person to face to face is always the best. And I think that's what we've lost the most of, is just that one-to-one interaction, which is not a healthy loss. I don't think that's a healthy loss for our society.
You made the comment of you'll email somebody, they won't answer you, but you'll text them and they'll answer you. And that's no people. Like Lisa made a comment here about it, basically that why human connection is so uncomfortable because they're not doing that. Like, I'll call somebody, they won't answer, but they'll literally text you right back. And for me, it takes 30 texts to get across the conversation, right, that I need to have. And it takes me, 30 texts, and it can take me literally a minute. And the gist of the conversation can be so misconstrued because I can't put passion and energy into although I didn't know period meant you were pissed off, right?
Whatever you do.
This
is fine.
It's hard for me to show emotion, really what I'm trying to get across. Simple words in a text. For me, it's all about my movement, my eye contact, my tone of my voice, right? I can understand that. You can send me a text and I can read it. Well, anybody can read it, 10 different ways, depending on the mood that you're in.
So let's try something. The rest of the show, don't use your hands when you talk.
All right, here we go. I'm sitting on it. That's going to last 30 seconds.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
Right, and same with you, right?
Yeah.
It puts a point across the people. You can actually understand them, not just the inflection in their voice, the eye contact, but just the movement, right? Like, really into it, or just like.
So Steve is in, voice acting and voiceover work, and so if you need a good guy for your, to do your Audible book or for your, unless you turned off. I'll try something. Yeah. So anyway, sometimes when we start talking all at the same time, background. Yeah, no, we should be good. Anyway.
Yeah, Scott was fading in and out a little bit. Yeah.
That's what she was saying. So
it's probably
because I was so.
Yeah.
Right, so you already lost with the hands.
So how do you?
Look at me.
So how do you, as you're doing this voice acting, right?
Yeah.
And you're not pissed off at all, but maybe the line,
Yeah.
I mean, right? How do you get there to go, oh God, that guy's pissed, or whatever?
I've always been a big fan of talking.
Yeah.
So recent studies showed millennials, so that's where I age group I fall into is 88. So I'm a millennial. 60% of us will not answer the phone no matter what. Like you call,
right.
They will not answer the phone. You'll get a text immediately. Somebody will deny the call, send a text right away. And in my opinion, it's just ridiculous. Like and also I will utilize emojis so people know I'm not pissed off.
Right,
okay.
Right.
But I am a big fan of proper punctuation. I'm a big fan of typing things clearly and concisely. Because
as you're reading a script.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And to communicate, I will answer the phone. I do like phone calls. I understand why we've shifted to text messages. They can be easier, but like what you guys were saying earlier, it takes you 40 minutes to have a conversation in text that could have been done in 3 seconds.
Well,
and
it's a safety thing too, because let's be real. How many people are driving when they're texting, right? And they've got to answer that right away. It's like, oh, ding, like, who is it? Instead of call me. That's for me. They're like, why didn't you get back to me right away? Because I'm driving. Call me and I'll talk to you all day long.
Well, that's what Steve and I did. We were shooting some emails back and forth. Finally, I just picked up the phone. I'm like, hey, man, we both use our voice for a living. That's
exactly what he said.
And it's a time saver too, right? For me, because the 30-second or 1 minute conversation we're going to have about the 40 texts that we had to shoot back and forth, I'm going to be safer. You're going to totally understand what I'm saying because you're going to hear me say it instead of kind of reading into shit. And for me, I'm horrible with emojis. You know what I mean? I look at him, I see a guy smiling. Well, maybe it's a little bit close, so it's it's not just a smile.
That's more. So
Pops jumps in. Pops Giles. When we communicate primarily via text, we lose the ability to recognize and read nonverbal cues in others. And judging from the tone of that, Bob, it sounds like you're a little pissed right now.
What? Me?
You see the period?
Yeah.
Right. He's angry.
Because of the period. The fact that you said that just cracks me up. Proper punctuation says that you're mad.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. So they must think I'm always happy because I don't have any punctuation in my shit. Run on sentences and I'm doing talk to text.
Right.
They know you're drunk. Yeah.
So Lisa follows up, says, "Yep, absolutely agree." And that's another piece of the problem. Now people read everything poorly and take everything personally. Skill, empathic energy, and body language is lost to the oversensitive mind. Wow. Oh, we got capitals now. Now we pissed that off. Pops is like, okay then.
That's the one we just talked about a couple weeks ago.
Pops, please stop yelling.
Right?
Hey, easy fella. Get your cup of coffee. He, of course, welcome in all the way from Galena, Illinois. I'm not a person who wants to be on the phone. Exclamation point.
Right.
Hey, honey.
Strong in her convictions.
Very strong.
That's exactly what that is.
Strong in her convictions.
Now,
let's give her a call.
Now we joke about this, but for Gen Xers, right, and people who don't use their voice for a living, for older than Gen Xers, right, we get a little infuriated now, right? So I am. We had done some interviews over at Agent Solutions, and when I'm listening, my mind is going 9,000 different places. If I don't control my hands, I'll pick up the phone, I'll scribble, I'll do something. So I sit here like this with my arms crossed, right? Or forcing myself to focus. And so I go, and then I have to stop everything and go, just a minute. I'm not closed-minded to what you're saying. I'm a Gen Xer. This is how I listen, right? So I tell them this. I tell them this. I'm like,
I need to keep my hands
right. So I'm like, this is just me listening and trying to focus in, because what you're saying is important. But I don't want you to think that I'm closing you off because of my right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just sucks to actually explain that.
Right.
No, but I think I actually saying that outright right off the bat. I'm listening, not getting to like
right.
That little bit of communication goes a long way.
That sets the tone. downstage, right?
100%.
Because I mean, they say we shut down.
Yeah.
For you, holding yourself in place, right? Like, you're okay. Wait, shut up. You know, it's like putting himself in a stage direction. You have to listen, and that's the way to focus on it. That plays a big thing. I think not anybody else. The attention span of a lot of these kids coming up today. A lot of people, not even just kids. So scattered.
What do you mean?
What? What'd you say? I forgot what we're talking about.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
There's so much going on.
What do you mean their attention span?
Well, so like with the texting and stuff like that, I just feel like kids can't.
Look, I did it right now.
Right.
Right, look at me.
You gotta just do different things. And we're all trying to do things. Email, Netflix, and focusing on primarily what you're trying to do now. It's much easier to do that in personal text. Get things knocked down.
You know, and I know
I mean, think about it. You're in the bar scene, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone's sitting at the bar texting talking.
Yeah.
Which is one of the weirdest things.
Right? Like, what do you go to bars for? Meet people, right? To hang out and have an experience.
And I love when people show up to the bar. They're doing an unplugged thing. No cell phones, no technology. One-on-one things. You know, which is significant. It's very important. And that connection.
Yeah, for everybody out there, these microphones will cut out when we're very loud. So it's got to be very loud, of course, right? So that's why it cuts out. So just everything is set fine. And yes, if it's all in caps, it just means you're yelling. That's what that means, right?
Unless it's accompanied by a smiley face.
And here's what I love. I will 100%. I understand what psychologists say about the crossed arms showing a blocking of acceptance to what's being said, and I can say absolutely nothing. Right?
Where's Lisa?
Yeah. Oh, Lisa. She's awesome. Right?
Lisa is very awesome. She's a great person.
Yep.
Listen to her show.
Yeah. She sells. She sells. She sells vacation packages.
Sure.
Oh, vacation.
No, but she's awesome. She's a little bit of a medium and empath. Yeah, she's good. Cool.
She's got some great knowledge
And-
and great information.
And I'm gonna neuro. She's big. I think I said that right. I produce her show. I still have no idea what she does.
What she does is she makes you think about
My arms have been crossed throughout her whole show. I don't know
She
nothing.
makes you function real differently.
Right. You've been closed off to everything she
Right.
says.
Actually, I thought this was the old guy of catching everything. Right? Everything digest right in there.
Yeah.
Is that
That's me.
Well, no, but that's and I understand that that's what quote unquote psychologists have said. But the other thing I can say is if your feet are crossed or your legs are crossed, something's crossed on your body, right? So it's not just your arms. That's how I would argue that. But I'm telling you that because I'm ADHD, right? In the 70s they called us hyper kids, right?
Welcome to the team.
Today we're dropping pills and calling you. Now people will be like, oh. I go, oh, absolutely. I have adult onset ADD, whatever it's called,
ADHD, yeah.
because I can't sit still. That's just who I am, right? So when I have to focus, I have to really focus. So that's when he started talking. You saw me go like this, right?
So,
That's how I have to
try
dial it.
To try to focus up, yeah.
Right. So again, somebody who's just reading. Pictures on a cave wall might go, oh, I didn't get that job,
But like for me, the big thing that why I don't particularly care. I mean, I get the emails and stuff for business, obviously, to track the conversations for me. I just have them on via text.
Yeah.
Right? I would prefer any day of the week to have one-on-one conversations. It's not always possible to put a phone call because it's actually personalized, right? You can actually get something out of the conversation.
Yeah.
Plus, we as humans, I know we've discussed this many times, personal interaction is important to most people. Granted, there are some people that just don't want to have it, but I feel better. I'm a better person. I feel like I perform better. I feel like I'm just overall better when I'm in front of people. You and I can talk on the phone about something, right? And it's a good conversation, but it just doesn't have the same, I don't want to say chutzpah or what. I feel like when we're together, because we can really push it back and forth. We're on the phone, we can kind of put that stuff together, but together, using my hands and pointing and doing stuff like this, and it just makes you feel more connect, right? A phone call can connect you because you hear their voice. But when you're in person with somebody and you're talking to them and you can see them, watch them, that's much more connected. And for me, the world is becoming, even though we're more connected, we're much less connected.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's hidden behind a phone or a computer screen. I can't do it. I honestly, in a lot of ways, would love to go back to the old days. There was something. I'm a handshake type of guy too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll send you the email, but handshake, good job. Let's get it done and move on. I'll send you a text on next meeting or something.
Well, and there is a time and a place for a text message or an email. If instead of spending 10 minutes on the phone, I can send one text message and just say Wednesday 8:30. Right? If I'm just relaying straight information,
or an address,
something like that. That is the best time and place where I'm not trying to convey my personality. I'm trying to just relay straight information. Email, text all day long. I understand the use for that.
Are both your buttons up on that thing?
Mine are.
Whatever you did there that last time, fixed it. But Shayna, Scott.
That one up.
You guys hear me okay?
Now it is.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay.
Are we having a failure to communicate?
I think now it's working. I think.
What are you trying to tell me? Send me a text. Tell me how great it sounds.
But to your point, Scott, you were saying, the kids these days that have to have all these things going at the same time, right?
And it's not just the kids. But
but it is. It is the younger generation that generally has to have more things going on. But they also call that neurodivergent. Like they didn't have that term when I was a kid. They didn't call people neurodivergent.
They had to make a term for it so it sound important.
Well, absolutely, right? Like otherwise, what keeps them in business? So
come in, we'll got a pill for that.
But like I am that exact way. It's like I will carry on 6 text message conversations while being on a video game and watching TV and spending time with the wife all at the same time. And it's just one of those.
Exhausting.
It does sound exhausting. But if I just watch a movie, I'm going to fall asleep on the couch. If I'm just watching a movie and not doing the other things, I'm dead asleep.
Yep.
I need something.
And maybe it's time to go to sleep.
But
that's what your body's telling you.
And I keep telling her that too at 2 p.m. on a Saturday, and she mowed the goddamn lawn.
What are you doing sitting in front of the TV at 2 p.m. on a Saturday? Holy shit! If you work a regular 9, well, you don't, but I mean, you work a 9 to 5, 2 p.m. on a Saturday, man, you better be doing something for yourself. Well, not sleeping. I mean, that's
right. Yeah. No, I mean, I very rarely get a chance to just sit and relax anyway.
We need to change that then.
Schedule.
Let Kent and I tell you how to do it.
All right. So what happens when the person that need to have that human interaction one-on-one, and you're like, oh, this fucking lady. Oh, this guy again. Here we go. It's the rambler, right?
Yeah.
It's that person who just
it's that person that doesn't have the human interaction. So when they get it, they go to the extent and they push everybody away.
Or a Scott talk.
Whoa.
I'm just
right. No. Yeah, I get that.
I enjoy the Scott talks. Some people don't. Right. Some people go, "Oh shit, here comes Ken. He's gonna poke. He's gonna piss me off. This is what he does."
Here comes Scott. He's gonna tell me how to live life,
right?
From his perspective.
Right. So the people don't want to pick up the phone because they're like, "I'll never get off the phone with this fuck."
That's why my family doesn't answer the phone. Holy shit. That's what.
Right.
All right. I figured you guys out now. You guys are busted.
Drew. We were prepping for a show. I'm not going to say the name of the show. And the host was like, and we're like, 6 times we were like, okay, well, hey, we got it. Oh, you know what? Got it.
Just kept rambling.
And there's because they don't know how to a text is easy. Here's my thought, bang. But now I've got your ear, and I just don't know how to hit send.
Well, right. So the text for me is it's easy because you can relay a quick, easy message.
Yes.
For me, that's perfect. Just like address, time, things like that. But for me, it's so impersonal. I mean, granted, I know a lot of people aren't, but for me, it's very impersonal. And I'm only on this blue marble for so many years. I want to be personal, right?
Well,
you know, I mean, I want to get involved with people. Obviously, the ones you don't want to be like, don't answer the phone, call you back later. Never call them back, you know?
Listen, I poop 2 or 3 times a day. So some people call me while I'm pooping. I'm not answering that.
So
I don't talk to people while I'm on a pooper.
So see, that's my favorite time to
downtime.
call. Yeah, I got nothing else going on.
I was going to say that would be the time, unless you got to sit there and focus. Come on, ice cream.
Hey, Ma, how's Dad doing? Give me a second. You know,
Mom, if you just heard that, it's not me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Do you have smell-o-vision?
But you understand what I'm saying.
100%, yeah.
We all have that person in our phone, in our lives, or many of them, that you're just like, if I pick up the phone, this one's gonna go forever, right?
No, in our house we call that the Aunt Jan effect.
Oh. Thanks for tuning in, Aunt Jan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Aunt Jan, just send your emails.
Jan, you know I love you, but please don't call me.
Join the studio. Join the studio, Jan. Yeah.
Right.
So that
It's just, it's a minimum hour conversation, no matter how small the topic is.
Yep.
You could be, just like I said, right? Wednesday, 8:30. She could have sent that text message. Instead, you're on the phone for an hour and a half while she talks about everything under the sun, and then doesn't even end the conversation with Wednesday at 8:30. The conversation ends with, hey, I really have to go to bed, or I have things I am doing today that I can't spend all day on the phone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you don't want to with those.
That's why
people,
her brother won't answer the phone.
With those people, you don't want to be rude and just like hang up on them. But for me, it's always like, hey, look, I got a call coming in. I got to take. I'll get back with you.
And in my experience, the people that you can't,
because I don't want to be rude,
are the best conversationalists. They're great. It's just there is a time and a place for that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it's being it's being
able, like you have a different experience.
Well, it's being able to regulate that, right? I mean, it's giving them that time, because someday you'll miss Aunt Jan calling to bug the shit out.
So
always, yeah.
At least says my old boss, father figure, call means literally 2 or 3 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just way too far.
Well, here's the deal. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm at, right? I'm the operations director for Aegis Solutions Group. I own, operate with Drew and Mike, 216 Creator Studios. I'm the female basketball coach at McHenry County College. I don't have time.
Okay.
Right. And listen, if I'm on the phone with you, I'm opening up my flip phone. I'm leaving it on speaker, and I'm doing 6 other things.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am.
Yep.
Right. To your point, Steve, I'm the same with you. When I stop, I'm done.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
that's
out.
Exactly
I'm
it.
out.
And that's the way it should be. You should exhaust yourself physically and mentally every day, because that's.
I don't think so, but
you sleep. Hey, you sleep better. You're not in so many.
Listen. If that was the case, Scott, I would go to bed 10 minutes after I wake up.
You're exhausted. You better check your CPAP machine. Then. But no, so when one of the issues today, right, is at least in my book, right, is there's how many people do you hear to have sleep problems? How many people do you hear, just nothing going on? It's
increasing for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So to sleep better, you need to be tired, both mentally and physically, right? For your body to want to regenerate itself. When you're sitting behind a computer or a phone all day long.
Let's go back to communications.
Right? You're communicating with your body.
Shana says you're going to feel terrible, Steve, when Aunt Jan leaves you a secret.
Just
saying.
Secret millions.
No, geez. No, we're going through the will right now. It's a mess. So.
They always are, man.
And my mortgage payment.
You know what? She probably tried to communicate that to you many times through those couple-hour conversations.
And I will tell you,
shut down.
That's what we call the Jan effect. I am one of the very few people, just for the record. I will answer her calls. I invite her to dinner. I want that one-on-one time with her while she is still here.
Good for you.
I do. I love the hell out of that woman. She's fantastic.
Being older, she may have some good information to share with you. I mean, communicating, that's what you're telling, sharing things, passing stuff down.
Yeah, 50% of my clients want help with sleeping.
I bet.
Send them to church on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Don, you're awful quiet. What do you?
No, I have been quiet. I think. I mean, it's kind of we're hitting on kind of the social media aspect of things and the multitasking, and I think the thing that we just kind of don't take seriously is there are a lot of studies now about how detrimental how much the screen time that we have, kids have specifically, how detrimental it is to them. Yet we, as a society, don't seem to do anything about it. It's like we just let the phone be the babysitter. I don't have time. I'm too busy myself scrolling my phone to be worried about what my kids are doing on their phone. And I just think we underappreciate the I would even go so far as using the word the devastation that's being caused to especially our young people, because it is screen time. And there is a lot of empirical evidence about that these days, but it just doesn't seem like we seem to worry about it too much. And I find that kind of odd.
I find it scary, not even odd.
No, well, yeah, scary would be a better word. You're right, Scott.
So what happens when I can put an AI teacher in a classroom, and AI is teaching the class better than any human can at this point?
Pass.
So what you're saying is you're scared of that.
I wasn't thinking specifically of that. I don't necessarily think that's a great idea, because again, there's the human interaction part. We just keep devaluing human interaction, and I guess intrinsically that sounds very negative for the human being. So I don't know about that one specifically, because there's a lot of things computers quote unquote.
Well, they try to get into a robot, basically. That's what they want. Share your phones, be a robot. An AI is going to teach you, right? And there's no human interaction. Your teacher is somebody that's not human, that has no feeling, no emotion.
But what Ken had said was, if it can come in and do the job better, right? Now, here's the thing. Education is education. If the kids learn more under AI than a human teacher, they still need the human interaction. But if they are learning more, if the job is done better, that is one thing that you can't really argue with, right? Like, the education is better. And that was the prerequisite for that.
It'll depend on how you define better at the end of the day. Yeah, if it's just scores, maybe you could measure it that way, and then you find other ways to include
knowledge consumed is how I would. So but it's hard to measure that.
What you're saying, Scott, is when you grew up, Britannica wanted you to be an encyclopedia.
Yes, they wanted me to know everything inside of it. No, but what I'm saying, what the point I'm trying to get across is, if you're being taught by a computer, which is AI, right?
Which you have for years and years and years and years.
The person, right? But you're missing out on personal interaction, and personal human connection is very important in learning. Granted, a lot of people learn on their own by reading what the teacher tells them to do.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Did you send your kids to public school?
No, I did not.
Okay. So why?
Why did I?
Because you don't have to answer that on air.
No, I will.
Here's the issue. You didn't like the narrative or the way the teachers taught or something. So what you're saying goes against what I just said. But
it was my choice to send my kid there because it was a better choice.
Everybody's got that choice,
right? Exactly. Right. And I would choose not to learn
by mom and learn how not to read.
Hey, I remember back in second grade. No. I remember back in second grade, my AI teacher was Mrs. Boo 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 instead of Mrs. O'Brien, right? Having a person, making that human connection. AI can teach you maybe how to read, or can teach you this lesson, but they can't help you grow as a person and understanding and have the connection.
Just a quick question.
Can I answer it, or am I just supposed to throw it at me again?
Just a quick question. Have you ever looked at YouTube to find out how to do something?
Well, yes, I have. Absolutely. But that's not AI. I'm watching a person's video, right, to learn from them. That's personal interaction. But if I'm listening to a voice talk to me, right, to me is not inviting.
So first of all, before we can have a really good discussion on this, we have to learn about what AI is and how it learns, which obviously we're not there yet, right? So
we're figuring it out. I know what AI is, but it's very impersonal. Oh, I don't.
I think we're scratching the surface on AI, but in this,
I couldn't get his comment and his disdain.
He would have used the period.
He would use the period.
We can talk off air about AI, but if you think that that YouTube video is not AI, then you are absolutely incorrect. And if you think that AI only learns because of its robotic ability, you're absolutely incorrect.
But how is me watching Tony, let's just say, changing a carburetor out in a car, a live person watching a video, considered AI.
Okay, what if
There's
Tony's
nothing artificial about him?
What if Tony's a jackass? What if Tony has a horrible personality and horrible beliefs, and
But
you
what
don't
makes
like
him
Tony at all?
artificial?
Now, well, here's the thing. What if you watched a robot doing the same video, taught you in half the time?
Have you met Tony in person?
Well, no.
Then how do you know that he's real?
Right.
Hey guys, you can say the same thing about the robot. The robot is designed by somebody and programmed by somebody. It's the same thing. There's no difference. You may end up with an a-hole robot. I mean, a lot of the challenges with the AI today is how it's being programmed, how it's being, and so yeah, it's still going to be influenced by who's putting that robot together.
Right. Correct. You ever read Isaac Asimov? They're all going to end up being jerks at some point.
When they try to kill us.
That's how often when you feel frustrated or unheard did you feel like someone didn't truly understand how you feel? Was the conversation in voice, or are you
texter, emailer?
Right. How
That's
often,
great.
When you feel frustrated or unheard, did you feel like someone didn't truly understand? I guess I'm different. If I don't communicate it properly through text, that's when I'll talk to the person like, hey, obviously you didn't get what I was trying to say.
Right. And sometimes you have to do
Except
that.
when you're messing with your buddy Scott.
Let me ask you.
Being passive aggressive.
No.
Let me ask you guys a question. So
see, I could have got that differently if you had called me and said it right than the text. So your personal communication, or if I saw you in person, I would have known you were fucking with me. Sent it to me, right? Yeah. You sent it to me in a text, and I'm like, no periods, no exclamation points, no no punctuation, right? And I'm going and because I didn't get to see him, feel him, touch him, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
I'm going, fuck. Wait, I thought about 30 million different things about how he was coming at me this way, and I thought my wife would look at me, go, he's just messing with me. And I go, but how do you know that? It's just 2 words or, a couple words. I said, do you really know Kent that well? I said, he might be mad because it's expensive equipment.
There we go.
But because I couldn't read it, we talked to him. I looked at his face when he said it, and I'm like, I totally got it. Instantaneous. I'm like, you son
we awoke the sleeping giant.
Cappuccino.
Oh my God, the Italian stallions coming in. Here we go.
Oh no.
I want to know what
He must have something to say. He must have something to say here.
Hold on.
Drew came in.
Bob says when a person is spending more and more time on social media, they're disconnected from real life and are feeling less connected with themselves. Because
no disagreement there.
If we understand social media, it's run by the algorithm. How much time do you spend, or did you comment, or whatever, right? So yes, you are being led, and that's why I love what Barack Obama said on David Letterman's My Next Guest is like, we can't have good discussions anymore because we don't know the real truth. You get fed your algorithm and facts that support your algorithm, and I get fed
100%,
facts that support my algorithm, and I go, you're an idiot, look what it says.
Yeah.
You're like, you're an idiot, look what it says, right? But we don't sit down over a beer.
So that's pitting people against each other, right? It's catering to what type of idiocy you are.
Well, you
woke everybody up here.
That's good. This is what this whole show's about.
You do, obviously, social media, you get a lot of confirmation bias for your own beliefs, right? Like, you're biased in one way, it'll show you facts to support exactly what you're feeling. However, I will say, I would rather see somebody's opposing opinion these days on social media, because I can take a breath and shut my phone down. Whereas in person, you just have to stare. You just have the mouth drops open. You're like, what did you just say? I'm sorry.
With that being said, though, a lot of people, in my experience, aren't going to say to you at your face what they would say to you online,
which is a horrible thing. Yes,
right? That's the thing. They hide behind the screen. For
keyboard warriors.
For me, I tell you how it is, right to your face. Whatever.
I work behind a bar for a living,
But I mean, for me, it's just, this is what it is. Move on. But these people, and that's one of the things that really drives me nuts about the texting and and emailing and stuff. It's so impersonal, and these people. I've had to tell people, be like, you say that, come talk to me, come sit in my face and tell me that face to face, and let's see where this conversation goes.
What's that say?
I don't want to read that. That's my wife.
Yeah, you can create a video of yourself in AI, and others wouldn't know the difference.
See, to me, that's fucked. That's horrible.
Oh, how did the Beatles just put out a new song?
Right, exactly, and that's fucked.
Michael
right?
Jackson just gave a live concert. Last year?
Now, what is reality? So here's the thing. So now you're second guessing yourself all day long.
No,
what's
right,
reality?
He's on an island with Epstein.
Right. But think about that one. So now anything and unless I'm sitting here talking to you, I don't know if it's real. You could send me an email. You could send me a video of you doing whatever. It's not even you.
But if I'm a shapeshifter,
yeah. But in front of you, I do. That's personal in-face communication.
Drew, you kidding, man? What
Cancel
do
the
you have to say,
computers.
Jeff? You know.
Morning, buddy.
I just didn't want Don to be the only pretty face in the room.
Well, then you better get off.
Hey.
So, that's nice.
Hey,
Can we go back to screwing up Mike? In communication, and it seems like, my daughter, I texted her something the other day, and quick text back to her, I just said K, the letter K. And she called me, and she's like, "Are you mad at me?"
We talked about it in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Why would I be mad at you? She's like, "Well, that's usually a sign of it." Like, there's no rule book here. There's no guidance. There's no what the kids and how they relate emotionally to, the text message and the social media. And I agree with Don. The screen time. There's a lot of screen time as I'm watching this show on my phone, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of those things. Is it a catch-22 when you have the information of the world at your fingertips? There is a good perspective to it, where kids are getting, I think, more intelligent because of it, but there is a caveat. They don't go outside, they don't communicate well in person. There needs to be a good balance, moderation, and everything is right. I mean,
well, you're not wrong at all in any of that statement, Drew, and that's the thing. It's controlling how much they're doing right on there, and giving well, anything in life is a balance, and I feel like it's way out of whack and out of balance, because especially just like you said, there's no rule book for K. I've been saying K for years, and now I find out I'm pissing, I'm being an asshole to people. That explains a lot of shit.
But Scott, you're not being an a-hole to people, though. That's the point. It's kind of this continuous, let me create ways to be offended because there's not real offense happening in my life. So I got to create the fact that the letter K is offending me.
Yeah,
and talk about a first world problem, huh? Talk about a first world problem right there, huh?
Right.
It says it'll become difficult to discern truth. We will need to feel how something is. That's already out there. I mean, there's so many deep fakes and voice AI that a lot of things that get shared. Oh, can you believe, Michael Jordan said this, right? And it's not, he never did.
Yeah.
He took his voice and that made it look like he said it in something.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, that's already out there. And that's why I say communication, where is it going?
Yeah. Like that commercial for whatever it was like laundry detergent, or I can't remember what it was, but it's got Tom Hanks's voice. Tom Hanks had to come out and say, that's not me. I don't support this product. Like, I didn't get paid by these people. They literally used the voice filter, and it was a big thing. They got in trouble for that, but that's the future. I mean, that's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at right now, right? And that's so it's already difficult to discern the truth, right? We have if the majority rules, we let the minority make the rules, right? So we can't upset Drew
because the majority because the majority doesn't want to rock the boat and get in trouble because the minority has quote unquote more power over them. That's the reason, right?
That's what's brought about the quote unquote cancel culture. And
that's what's that nature, right, and that's the reason our world is doing what it's doing right now because of that.
And that's because we've lost the art of communicating with one another.
What?
Now you're just butthurt. Now I have an incredible attorney who knows pieces of the law, and since you don't know any of the law, you're going to listen, just pay this. Trust me.
Yeah.
You don't drag this out. You're not going to win this, right? So I think with communication, there's always that. I mean, I have worked with a guy who'll come and he stands in the door of your office and just starts talking. And then I have
the time wasters.
The time waster. And I have literally gone, okay, great, and started typing.
Just to push him away nicely and politely.
like, I tried to end this 3 times and you're still standing and still standing in the doorway talking while I'm trying to, I'm sending a text to somebody then like, hey, somebody call me.
Yeah.
Get me out
Is
of
it too,
this.
so within that, is it too difficult to actually look at him and be like, hey, I don't have any more time? So instead of what he's doing is by doing those things is walking away from him and doing something else, saying, I don't have any more time for you, instead of, using a verbal communication saying, hey, Don or Bob or whatever the guy's name is, I just don't have any time. I got to get to this. Thanks. Instead, in my mind, it's kind of a rude thing, right? That when I'm talking to somebody, they pick up their phone, I leave, right? If they start, goodbye. Because obviously at that point, they're not important to that conversation. Yeah,
it's not working, Ken. It's not working.
This show, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? Look at me and be like, hey, dude, shut up. I've got other things to do. I appreciate that more so than somebody that's going to get on their phone or that's going to start texting. Just be human with me, be honest, and move on. Hey, we'll talk next time. Or you know what? I just don't have time for you right now. I got to finish this. And it's plain, it's simple, it's easy. It's a simple communication. Your point got across, whether with no periods or exclamation points. You told me it's done, it's over, move on.
When was the last time you said that to somebody?
Which comment? I made a lot of comments. Get lost? Yeah. Probably last week.
You're the people pleaser. No.
I'm a to certain people, I absolutely am. But I mean, when it's time, one of those things, because I know how much it bugs me, and don't get me wrong, I've caught myself doing it, right? Because it's just, you hear that and your mind just goes right to it. But I just pure and simply want to get it done, over with, push off my conversation or what I'm trying to get across to that person and be done with it, and try not to disrespect them. But if it's something I need to do, it's my time, I'm going to move on. Right. But I would rather somebody tell me, hey, Scott, shut the fuck up, than to just start doing one of these. Hey, we're done. I got to keep moving on. For me, that's respect.
Or just turn off his mic.
That's respect for me and my time. And I'm also trying to give them respect, like, hey, move on. Thank you very much.
Hey, Scott, shut the fuck up. And
that's fine.
In the Italian world, we usually say things like, not for nothing. And then follow it up with our comment. Scott's a good point. I think coming from a different generation, I mean, our whole generation was trained into hurting people's feelings on purpose, and that means you like them. And so now with the generations that are coming up, they don't understand that. And so we don't know, we don't want to change. We don't know how to change. So we continue to do what we do. And now it's like, it's a war. It's a little bit of a battle out there on the communication side of things. And so we're trying to find a happy ground. Now, listen, the new generation, it's their world. It's not our world anymore. That's what they're going to have to grow into it and move forward. We can only give them whatever tools we know to guide them the best way we can. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's how they're going to handle things moving forward. We're just becoming the dinosaurs here.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, 100%.
Yeah, and I've said it, and I always say it. I'm like, nobody's ever died from being offended, but and I agree with Scott. Saying it up front. When was the last time I told somebody to get lost? Well, what time is it right now? I mean,
right?
I have no problems on telling anybody anything on how I feel. And when you do it verbally, you get that connective tissue on how you're actually feeling to where there's an understanding between both parties. Yeah. When you're doing it via email or text, it's cold, and you don't know how it's really coming across, so everything's lost in translation. Right? I mean,
Don's grandparents and Scott's grandparents, because they're the oldest people in the room. And if they had social media, they'd be saying the same thing too about your generation.
Of course, we're always going.
These guys.
You're always going to be different with the generation. We're always going to be different with the generations.
This television.
Yeah, they would have said television was going to ruin us, and in some ways, it probably did. A lot of people. It probably did ruin a lot of people.
It did. That's why they call it programming.
Worst thing ever did was put my dad on Facebook. I can tell you that right now.
I should have
never done that. That's just But no, to your point though, you had said that we used to be mean to each other, right? And kids, pulling a girl's pigtails means you like her, right? The tools that you mentioned that we have to teach moving forward, in a way, it's a Well, whatever you're into, man. You gotta spit on her. So
That's a different show.
The tools we're teaching our kids moving forward are how to express themselves correctly instead of the violence, instead of picking on people. Well, it's how do you express exactly what you're feeling in the moment that you're feeling it. Use your words, communicate, and that's kind of exactly what we're talking about today is communication. Right. And those are the skills that we're going to be passing on to our kids. It's like, hey, you like the girl? Vocalize it. Right.
Don't text her. Get in front of her.
No, you hop in her DMs and just like dad and mom did. Right. No.
Well, so like here, a perfect example, like Drew kind of brought it up. The personal. I just had a complete freaking brain fart on that one. That was a well thought out thing. Oh, dude, it's.
We just lost out on a moment of brilliance. I think. Yeah,
right. This is very true. If you were my friend, I gave you shit. 2 reasons. 1, you might have been jealous that they were doing something better and more fun than you. But 2, you were doing it because you actually did care about them and wanted to push them, right? To make them maybe think about things. We didn't think about that right away going, I want to make my friend better by teasing him. But it always did push us, right? At least in my case, it pushed me when I got teased or razzed from my friends because I knew, at least I hope that in their heart they really meant good things by it. Today, you say something, oh my God, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Why would you say that to me? You hurt my feelings. And then, they shut down completely. Or you say something like that over a text. Oh, you're just a big pussy. Over a text.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. So I mean, you can't read into that. You can't understand that unless you're in front of somebody. Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Scott,
I'm going to get right. Show turned off. So
yeah, Scott, when we were younger, that was a method of giving somebody some feedback without hurting their feelings because it was just the way we did it when we were kids, especially with our buddies. Like your point, I always say to people, if you weren't busting each other's chops, you didn't like each other. You didn't like each other if you weren't busting each other's chops when you were kids. I missed something in the studio there. But today it's like you said. Today it's this whole offense culture is just really, really harmful for everybody's a victim, and it's just I can't imagine every day you're running around looking to be offended so I can be a victim. It doesn't sound healthy.
I always tell people, I said, if I piss you off and I'm saying dumb shit to you, that means I like you, right? If I'm not talking to you, right, or
you must love me.
I love you, but no, I mean, like if I offend you and I say shit that really I feel needs to be said, that's because I love you. It's not because I want to be a dick or make you mad or not have you talk to me. I want you to, I'm saying it for a reason because realistically, if I don't care, I'm not going to waste my time, even or my breath, or even a text on it. Thank you, but have a nice day.
No, absolutely.
Well,
and Don, to what you were saying, the people will always find a way to be offended by something, right?
Sure.
In every age, like we change our language, we change what's appropriate to say and what's not appropriate to say. There is the reason we're going to find ways to be offended is because people are going to find ways to mean offense. And that's going to be every generation is going to have. It looks weird to us. I see kids getting offended over weird things, but it's like also
saying, have a nice day.
But there's a difference between somebody saying have a nice day and somebody saying I'm offended versus somebody saying something weird and backhanded that I necessarily might not understand, right? But intending offense. If they're intending offense and you get offended, I mean, I think we're seeing a lot of that just doesn't make sense to us.
But you can only be offended if you decide to be offended. We control that, and that's what we've let go of. People again are just choosing every day to go look to be offended, and I'm just saying I don't see how that's a very
that's maturity at some point to learn to overcome that.
But let's be honest, because of social media, okay. We also have the folks who all of a sudden become Anthony Robbins 4 times a day.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And at no time, if they were talking to you, would they be like, listen, a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. Unless the bush, you know what I mean? All this is, I say, bumper sticker motivation.
T-shirt, yeah.
Ideology. Is now everybody's like hey and so that's just as nauseating to me. And when you truly know the person, you're like, God, Shut up.
I agree.
If you truly know the person, you can tell them that, and they shouldn't be offended, right? Like that person that comes and talks to you, like, "Hey, no offense, but just tell me what it is."
Usually when
Tell me how you feel. Let me process it.
Hold on. What'd you say, Jeff?
I said that's where the not for nothing comes in. Not for nothing.
That's the equivalent of no offense?
Yeah, that means no.
All due respect, you're a total asshole. You know,
Right. All due respect is in the Geneva conventions, as we talked about.
Nothing, but you're an idiot.
But in the same token, that is respect, right? Because if you're really telling the piece and how you feel, if you're really telling people how you feel,
he's over there. No, I get it. I'm doing the same thing.
I can't put this in a text very well with my voice,
right?
But you know what I mean?
I like that though. It was calming and smooth. Yeah.
Creator Studio.
I'm ready for some jazz music about now.
I do have a very voice.
I wasn't going to say it, but
we have isolated ourselves from life experiences and coping skills.
We
don't
want
our kids to ever feel bad, then wonder why everyone is offended. We took life experience for growth. Well, I'm okay if my kids feel bad. So I'm all right with that.
Part of life.
It is a choice. Absolutely, Shannon. You're absolutely right. You control what gets to you. Teach kids to handle it and don't accept victimhood as identity. And that's what.
Yes,
that 100%.
Right. What Drew says. Listen, nobody ever died from being offended.
Well, not that you know of.
No one ever has.
No, they weren't around to talk about it. So
today now they're getting cyberbullied. So they are. They're killing themselves because they're getting cyberbullied. They're offended off because they didn't know what that person's comment, what their emotion came out of it.
They didn't die because.
No, there's other things going on. Nobody ever was just I'm a butthead. I'm going to kill myself. No, that's never happened.
There's no other mental issues involved. What are you thinking here? Are you thinking?
Okay, if I'm schizophrenic and I shoot myself in the head, do I die from schizophrenia or the bullet to the head?
The offended bullet to the head.
Well, there goes YouTube.
Bullet to the head.
I knew I'd get underneath this note for that one.
Bob says one of the reasons people continue to use social media is the need to fill a void. But ironically, social media has created a new void in our lives through social comparison. According to the algorithm that you're sent.
Yes.
Allowing the offense to take root, fill your cup, and there's no room to absorb. There you go. Again,
well said. Absolutely.
And Lisa and Shayna are now having a sidebar conversation. They're like, okay, you guys are idiots. We're just going to talk amongst ourselves.
That's what they're doing anyway. This is just an easy forum for the do it at.
I'm offended.
User says exactly. Good to see you, Facebook user. Many parents encourage. All right. Drew, you were saying.
Well, so this brings into a little bit of a different subject, but it's a lead in, right? So when people get offended, in order for them to deflect, now they identify as something else for the attention. There's a lot of pay attention to me, but don't pay attention to me. I'm offended. Right. They want to be recognized, but they don't want to be recognized. So they try to be as unique as possible. And I agree with Ken. A lot of people, what they're doing is they're just regurgitating somebody else's words on a continuous basis to be that spokesperson in the room.
And that's also with social media.
Also
regurgitating all the time.
Right. And going back to the cave that Kent was talking about, now communication is back to pictures, because when I get a text and it's a stream of emojis that tell a story, I'm like, I didn't go to school for this. I have no idea what the hell you're telling me.
I don't speak emoji.
Right. And so, when my daughter's communicating with, number one, when I watch her text on the phone, it sounds like rapid fire. I don't even know how she does it. I can't even tap on a keyboard like
with just two thumbs.
Right. I mean, I don't even, and then I look at it and it's like pictures and words and things. And so it's a different language. Right. And not for us to judge it, but we don't understand it, and that's why, Kent and I were talking about putting a show together called From X to Z. And it's about communicating between the two generations and how to do it. And I think that would be a great show. I think that there's just missing pieces of the puzzle. It's just like anything in massive change. It takes a while for everything to kind of come together to create that happy medium. And I think we're just in that transitional period.
Yeah, he thought they were vegan, so he kept Drew just kept sending eggplant emojis.
Yes, that's what I do. That means you're cool, right? Because I keep sending those.
Little Parmesan. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Yeah,
the
taco, I use
love.
It is lots of love. It's whatever you think it is.
Grandma died. LOL. What? It's lots of love. No, that's not what that means, Mom.
Right.
That's what that was a good time to communicate with your daughter. Be like, Mom, what are you thinking?
Yeah, that probably again
right?
to the topic.
This
shouldn't have been a text, but
right.
still.
This is one that should have been a conversation, not a text.
Listen, I have been now getting notifications on the Book of Face that says, "Hey, someone just commented on your post." I'm like, oh, I wonder what they said, and I haven't posted. I wonder what post, and they're literally coming from like 2020. They're commenting on a post from 2020.
Oh, God.
And
Get a life.
And I'm like,
2020.
Oh, why did I get so excited about that? Oh, that was a dumb thing to say back then.
Right? It's what you felt.
So that's what I mean about you walk into somebody's cave and you're like, there is not a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it is not raining.
That's a great.
There's a Tesla out there.
I love it. I love it.
It's sunny and there's a Tesla outside.
Yeah, So here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I love about Gen Xers, and I know we're a little bit over, but we're going to go over. Is Gen Xers are the ones who will be like, all this shit's ruining the world, and they've got an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. They've got all this shit, right? Yeah. They're on it. Oh, AI, they're stupid. Hey, Alexa, turn on the lights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Gen Xers, and that's why I say the mess of the world has been created by Gen Xers, because we're the you got a trophy for just being. Everybody makes a team. There's no more cuts. There's this, and now we're mad at the people that we created who are running the world, going, you guys are idiots. We made it. We really are literally laying in the bed that we've made. Right. Now,
I was literally just going to say that.
Listen, I love my mom. She's 83. She'll be 83 this year. I would not have her run the free world. All right. All that I'm going to say, I would not. If I was starting, I said, Mom, I love you, but if I was starting a business, you're not going to be the CEO. You're 83. Right.
Right.
Anyway, what I'm saying is the very people who point the fingers, right, are the ones utilizing everything. No. Hey man, I got this car that drives itself. I hate AI. AI's dumb.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hate AI. Hey, whatever.
Are you kidding me?
Tesla,
I love going,
pull up.
I love going 85, setting cruise, artificial intelligence, setting cruise. Yeah. Right. And letting my car keep me between the lanes.
You think awesome. Cruise control is the initial artificial intelligence?
It's not the initial.
That is my father-in-law all day. Hands off the wheel. Look at this. Look how this thing goes. And then it's like you come to an intersection. It's like, it's like, no. All right, you can probably hold on. But, he's the same guy. He's the same guy who back in the 80s and 90s would have been like, oh, why the government trying to wiretap us and all this. And now he's the same guy being like, hey, wiretap, give me a recipe for pancakes. And Alexa's like, yeah, here you go. Hey, and he, it's funny. Like I set up his whole house with the smart speakers and everything. And he still complains and does all of that. His light bulbs are controlled AI, all of it. And the guy still will.
It's the end of the world.
Yeah, well, and he's still the traditional like Starbucks. Buying Starbucks in the morning is ruining our economy. That's why we're all broke.
It's like old school back in the day, people would. It was really important, right? Really important to protect your identity and not be out there, right? Yeah. Now everybody's just out there, right? And it's everything's out there. Yeah. And the craziest thing is we pay a stupid amount of money every month for them to follow us.
There was a time
and listen to us.
There was a time when most everybody, maybe not you,
most
everybody that is listening and here had a digital clock from Kmart, and the digital clock wasn't even digital. It was a flip. It was flip cards that.
Oh, I love that one.
To it,
right? Yeah, remember that?
And it was backlit as a radio.
I still have one.
And it had a little orange glow. But we're like, oh yeah, look at my digital clock, and then it would flip over.
Thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Right.
They're like, wow.
The intro to Groundhog
Just
Day.
a couple gears, right? Yeah.
It was digital because it showed the digits.
I know.
That was high technology then.
Well, they did that thing where they take a clock through a high school, and they're like, "What time is it on the clock?" And 80% of kids don't know how to read a face clock anymore.
Yeah,
Totally sad. They don't, well, kids don't even.
But again, if everybody's got they can look at their watch, their phone. Why did we had face clocks? Because the gears and because it made sense at the time.
Understanding where you came from.
Yeah, well, you maybe heard before. We could disable a generation. We could disable a generation by going back to cursive and stick shift cars. You would disable a generation.
100%. Yeah.
Or have to make them count change back to you off of the cash register.
I got to tell you, my mom's out too. Like she's done. She's not getting anywhere, and she's not writing anything.
I'm going to say texted a mail.
Isn't it funny how now it's Kent's mic that we can't hear?
I want to have your baby.
You got to be careful with the talk to text.
Yeah.
You've always got to proofread.
Yeah, when I'm doing it, always for when I'm saying you need to put more caulking on your house, it comes up a different word.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That comes up.
House comes up, house.
Caulking.
Right, and then I just have a weird afternoon. I mean.
I have a great afternoon when that comes up, especially if my client starts laughing. They're like, what does that say?
Why is Scott out there with his
It depends if you follow it up with the next one.
The bathroom didn't work. I had to check it out.
What are all these smudges on the window?
It was a communication style.
Whoa, that's it. Hey, listen, if you love this show, even if you like it or if you don't, the best thing to do is reach out to us at info@216thenet. We've got some great packages for your small business or you can sponsor us, which is great for as little as $250 a year. Fun stuff, right? So there's a lot of stuff out there. Today at high noon, we've got Digital Boss Boardroom with our good friend Bobby Bainey from Think Big, Let's Talk, Think Big, Go Local.
He's not thinking, but he's going local.
Big, go local. And
not
then,
local.
And she's going to be talking about Google. Google My Business, which is good stuff. And then
Google.
In the Know with Steph and Joe is going to be a good one today at 3, where they are talking about nuggets versus Kool-Aid. Do you dip your nuggets or you drink the Kool-Aid? Right. And then
both.
And of course, In the Know with Steph and Joe brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Restoration One and Steph's Bookkeeping. So, and then next week too, just a shout out to anybody that's in the local area. I believe on Tuesday, Steph has a ribbon cutting at her new.
Oh, did she finally get it finished? Awesome.
So
I can't wait to see that.
So a lot of good things happening here. And then of course, Sunday, you're going to tune in to Lisa's show, Living Outside the Box, and I think I saw it up there. Her and Shayna had a meeting. Intuition and the ego.
What's so great about Outside the Box?
Yeah. Intuition and the ego is what they're going to be talking about, which is great stuff. And Lisa, you're going to meet just an incredible woman, Kelsey. You're going to love her. Awesome stuff. Cheap viewers and followers on Streamboom. Thanks for the commercial. Not one. Or not 11. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a great show today, man. I appreciate you coming in. You know, it's an important thing we all need to work on, right? And, communication.
100%.
And obviously, of course, when Scott says great, his expectations are very low.
Right. No, I mean,
let's be honest.
Pretty. Yeah.
No. You're offending me, sir. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Would you send that to me in a text so I can make sure I get the whole gist of the conversation instead of staring at you?
I'll probably put a period.
Are you
Nothing
breathing?
but eggplants.
Are you
Nothing
real?
but eggplants.
So you keep going that way, he's going to start doing
Are
this.
you real or are you just a hologram?
Don't forget about Natural Therapy Wellness. Go get a massage over there.
Yeah, they're
Flowers, from JH Events and Flowers, huge sponsors of the station and 216 Creator Studios. For all of us here, thanks for tuning in to the grounds and getting caught up with us this morning. We'll see you again.
Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in.
Good weekend, everybody.
Be in the world. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Love y'all.
Fantastic.